Hello and welcome to all you Aquarians. First of all, it's good to be back and thank you so much for all of those Aquarians who have supported me, who have just, being patient with me, so to speak. And let's get started straight away with your horoscope, because October is such a different month. It's probably one of the best months of the year because, why is that? Because a lot of planets are going forwards. It means that we are going forwards as well. It reflects that. Mercury goes forwards, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, and even your ancient ruler Saturn is going forward. So we are stepping into new paths, so to speak. And we, even if it's a big change or not, there is for all of us the feeling that we are going forwards again and that we can do more instead of thinking all of the time. Because for you, the thinking might have been quite deep with having Mercury retrograde last month in your 8th house. And it was a good Mercury retrograde because it was in Virgo, in its own sign. But it might have been a bit heavy. And now the lightness comes back. Because there is a new moon happening in Libra, and normally I don't mention that, especially when it's not in your sign, the new moon. But now I mention it because it's so positive. It's with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, the planet of abundance, the planet of meaningfulness. And it's this new moon on the 1st of October. It happens on the 1st of October, but it has consequences for many, many months after that. Because Jupiter will be in your 9th house for a whole year. So there's something new there that you Aquarians are planting, and it has to do with foreign people. It has to do with foreign countries. I'm going to say some things. It's and. It can have to do with publishing. It can have to do with traveling. It can have to do with your higher thinking. It can have to do with education, with learning, with you teaching, you coaching, or being coached. It can have to do with you showing yourself on a bigger platform, like YouTube, for instance, or like, I don't know what. But that is very international. It's about like your perspective. Whether you have a very rigid one or already a very open one, it's going to even become larger and bigger. And therefore you will see, it's like you're going to have a bigger view upon life and you're going to become more optimistic. It's the house of the optimism. The 9th house is the house of the divine. So it's like through traveling, through studying, you're connecting with the divine. Through even reading books. You don't have to specifically study something at a college or whatever, or at a university or whatever, but it's about your own studies that you're doing. So a lot of Aquarians are absolutely going places with this, because this Jupiter is going to square up to Pluto next month. And we already feel it this month in October, because Mars is in Capricorn in your 12th house. So it's like these two houses are connected, by the way, through this aspect of Jupiter and Pluto. First of all, let me explain what Jupiter and Pluto is. It's one of my favorite aspects, even when it's in a square, which means a bit harder work and more tension. But what it basically does is, through transforming, through cutting out what doesn't work for you anymore, through letting go of control, you kind of expand. So there is something going on in your 12th house that needs to go. And that might be a behavior, a pattern, an emotional pattern that you've been having for a long, long time, but something that undermines you. Because Mars is going to be there in your 12th house for the whole year. Thank God, no, for the whole month. So Mars wants to cut it all out, especially with Pluto there. It's even more like this pattern, sorry, Aquarian, it has to go. And that's going to help you with the expansion in that 9th house. It's better to embrace it. It's better to, especially when people say something about you that you kind of say, whoa, what the hell is she saying? Or what the hell are they saying? Be aware of that you might look a bit deeper into it, because the 12th house is your blind spots. So other people might trigger your blind spots. So be aware of it and try to embrace it instead of pushing it away, because then it's going to get worse. So it's a good time to cut addictions, you know, and it's not an easy thing to do. But with Mars there, it's like Mars in the 12th is quite often, and especially with Pluto there, it's healing from your old patterns by letting go of them. And it is in Capricorn, so it's about structure as well. So old structural patterns that are so programmed and so stuck in your head, you have the opportunity, you Aquarians, to cut them all out, or at least one of them. And maybe a foreigner is helping you with this, with the Jupiter there in the 9th house. Or maybe a connection from abroad is helping you with this. Or maybe traveling is helping you. Or studying is helping you that. But I think it has to do with a relationship as well, or with a connection, because this happens in your 9th house of Libra. Libra has to do with connections. So there might be just one connection or even more that help you with this process of release, of getting you down, basically, because Mars in the 12th can really, if we're not really aware of it or someone shows it to our awareness, it can be very destructive. So it's better to clean it out than to let it overpower you. So it's quite deep. This Mars Pluto in your 12th house, but you know, once Mars will be in Aquarius, you will feel very empowered because of what you have cut out of your life, basically. And Mars will be in Aquarius on the 10th already of November, so that's not long. Then a little thing about Venus. So Venus was in your 10th house of work and of social status and how people see you. So, and it still is up until the 18th in Scorpio in your 10th house. So do take advantage of people seeing you a bit charming that you already are, or trying to get that promotion. Go for it, you know, with Venus in the 10th house. And then it shifts into your 11th, Venus with Saturn. It's going to bump into Saturn and into Neptune. Now, with that, I want to say that be realistic with friends. Why do I say that? Venus in the 11th is fantastic. It means good connections with like-minded people, but be realistic. Don't dream too much with the Neptune square there. Don't fantasize too many possible. Sometimes we do idealize our friends way too much, and then you get disappointed. But be realistic. And if you're someone who says, no, I'm already very realistic with friends. Friends, they don't have to come too close. Well, maybe open up a little bit more. That's the Saturn-Neptune square. That is still a bit, it's not exact anymore, but it's still on. And Venus triggers that. Having said that, I wish you all the best. Thanks again for keep on supporting me. And I hope it was useful, this little monthly general horoscope. Keep on sharing, and see you next month. Bye-bye.